Alright, Dominion Tank Police. I forgot how good this anime was. I was actually afraid to watch this again because this was one of those animes that blew your mind in the 90s, when all anime did. But Dominion Tank Police is surprisingly deep, so watching it as an adult is actually quite the treat. So let's check out Episode 1. Episode 1 is mostly world building. The setting is a futuristic dystopian Japan, severely polluted by a type of bacterial haze that dominates the cityscape. Citizens must breathe using respirators. However, as we learn in this episode, humans are also developing a natural immunity to the haze. Crime is also a massive issue in this universe, with heavily armed police being the response. This includes, of course, the Dominion Tank Police, a heavily armed special force. The tank police in this episode combat a mysterious criminal named Waku, teamed with a pair of android catgirls known as the Puma Sisters. Despite the seemingly cliché and gratuitous placement of near-naked catgirls, this anime actually does give a somewhat plausible and interesting reason for their existence in later episodes. The existence of the tank police in this anime is a direct and obvious criticism of the over-budgeting and over-militarization of the police. The anime was produced in the mid-1980s, which is relevant, at least in America, following the passage of the Military Cooperation with Law Enforcement Act of 1981. This act led to the police using heavier military equipment, a trend that has only increased exponentially since the 1990s. The tank police state in the episode one of their primary functions is to serve as a deterrent, which is the common deterrence fallacy behind many army and police budgets. America, for example, has some of the most heavily armed police on the planet, but still some of the highest violent crime rates in the Western world. The show openly mocks enforcement through strength policing, often through their squad leader, Charles Brenton. Here he is reading a magazine titled How to Kill. One defining moment for Brenton in the episode is when, after a frustrating day of police work, he toys with the idea of robbing a bank. The tank police are an archetype of out-of-control, corrupt, and stupid police without accountability. If the characters don't drive this message home, their tanks certainly will. At first I thought these tanks were hover tanks of some kind. But no, not only do these tanks tear up the roads they drive on, they even have attachments that seem to function only to aid in this destruction. Which is, well, hilarious. Might as well be as over the top as you can. What keeps the tank police seemingly able to get away with what they do is out-of-control crime, so why fight it too hard?
Say we answer every crime call that comes in. In no time at all, this precious tank will be beat up, and the first basic patrol rule is to love your tank like a brother no matter what.
Historically, it's politically next to impossible to pull back police budgets during times of high crime, even in exchange for more complex, though perhaps more effective social initiatives. Furthermore, if you try to disband heavily armed services in corrupt societies, you run the risk of creating heavily armed criminals who, like our squad leader states, might want to rob a bank. Ultimately, in the first episode, you just get a taste that there is a lot going on in this universe. The tank police are just about to get entangled in a plot that has to do with the bacterial pollution, and the story will get much deeper. For episode 1, just enjoy hanging out with the tank police. They are hilarious, and their tank tactics are too. Probably the best part of this episode and the universe is the futuristic arcology city, which takes on an organic and asymmetrical aesthetic. It gives the whole polluted city a biological and sickly vibe. It's a very funky and cool futuristic dystopian feel. Alright, I'm Johnny. Thanks for watching. Do check out Dominion Tank Police. It's been a lot of fun watching it again, just enjoying the vibe and the storyline and the characters. There's a lot going for this anime. Kind of want to cosplay a Dominion Tank cop now. Anyway, if you want to support the channel, like, subscribe, or comment, and most importantly, do have a nice rest of your day.